Hello everybody, Sunday evening. It's a bit different, isn't it? Normally I'm through the day. Been a bit busy. So it's an evening, which it's very black out there. Tom's just begged his way in here. He's over there, bless him. Naughty boy. It's lovely and peaceful and quiet though. No traffic. No tractors hurtling up and down the lane. It's really quite nice. We like it. I've turned the music off as well, so it's really, really peaceful. Witter Quilt 6, Christmas appliques or Yuletide appliques or whatever you want to call it. Alright. I've put the centre bit, which was the log cabin wreath, and the blocks so far. Spot the error. Well, it's not an error. It's just I've not planned it. The little ones don't seem to fit across the big middle one, do they? We'll get that sorted, don't worry about that. We'll have a little bit of a, I think we'll have like a border around the middle. Or the middle might not be the middle might become a top corner or a bottom something. Who knows, it might get made round yet. This is what happens when you do things on the hoof. It's whatever seems right at the time. So we're going to carry on making blocks and see what happens. Alright. So block number 6 is a cracker, okay, but not in its normal setting as you might imagine most people doing their crackers. Look, he's on the dinner placement. I've had a bit of fun with this one. May or may not appeal to everybody, I'm sure, but it's a bit fiddly, but it's good fun if you get it done. All right, so I will just walk you through this one, or talk you through this one. You have to make your background first, so it's actually 2 pieces put together. Okay, so there's a greeny piece I've used at the top there that will come like a tablecloth, and then the cream I've used as if it was a placemat. All right, and so once you've done that, sizes are on your pattern, which will be over on Patchwork Witterings, by the way, on the on the group Patchwork Witterings. And then I've put a yellow strip across the centre over the top of that, and I've made it a little bit wibbly purposely, and that's as if it's the edge of your placemat. Okay, so that's supposedly anyway. All right. So once I've done that, I've then appliqued on the knives, the forks, the spoon. All right, and the cracker, but not the holly and the berries, which are the decoration on the cracker. I did those after I'd added the green border around the edge. All right, so you're cutting 1.5 on that. The centre should be 8 finish, so you're cutting sort of 8.5 with the 2 joined together. So then you can machine around everything. I have to say, I have used, I don't know if you can tell, I'm going to put that up close. I've used gold thread on the yellowy bit on the edge, and I've used silver on all of the cutlery. Okay, and then I've put the place name in the centre. I've put it as Santa. Obviously you can put anybody's name in there. What you could do if you really wanted, you could put like a little plate in there instead with the Santa on if you wanted a little bit more something. Who knows? Totally up to a fancy dessert dish or something. Might be nice, mightn't it? I cheated and I used a pen writing Santa. It's a permanent pen. Stitch it. It's only that I've not had a lot of time, and I thought, I'll just chuck that in there quickly so that I can get this witter done for you all. I love cutlery. I like knives. It's not necessarily the best thing to say, is it? But my dad was a silversmith. He was an antique silver restorer. I think he was one of the last in the country that was apprenticed in an old-fashioned way, and had all his big bellows, and his workshop was amazing. Oh, I could spend hours in there quite happy watching everything. Flames and heat and dirt and muck, and these amazing things would be turned up. Do you remember, and obviously they're still there, you used to get things like stags and animals in silver. Yeah, lovely sort of statuette type stuff, and you quite often see them dented and banged in old antique markets and things like that. Well, they used to arrive home, and they'd disappear into Dad's workshop, and they'd have bits missing, and they'd be crunched and banged. You've never seen anything like it, but they'd come out pristine. He'd make new little bits to put on, and he'd click. Oh, fantastic. But one of the jobs that fascinated me, I think because of the smell, sounds weird, were knives and forks and spoons that had bone handles, because they'd be full of pitch. So he'd have to heat the pitch up, run it into the handle, and then he would have to set the silver blades or forks or whatever into these handles, and it was a real art. But the pitch smelled horrible. I hated it. But you always knew he'd been doing cutlery, and they'd come out pristine, fabulous, quite amazing really when you saw the mess that went into what came out. He was a very clever man, I think, very clever. But anyway, there we go. So I get totally sidetracked again. Apologies. So yeah, we're doing the placemat, the centre, the place setting. Goes a bit with the glass of wine and the Christmas pudding, doesn't it? Bit of fun. There's a lot of stitch detail on this one. Probably the easiest place to show you is on the spoon, if you look in the centre of the spoon. All right, I've tried to give it sort of just a tiny little bit of an edge on the perspective light, so you've got a little bit of the more 3D looking bit on it. All right, just add that with a little bit of stitch. I mean, a little bit dark stitch, whatever you would want, straight stitch. I've used a very tiny zigzag, but use whatever you want. And if you don't want to put any on at all, that's absolutely fine too. I'm sure people get the message of what it is as it is. Okay, so on your pattern, I've given you a few directions. I've given you your sizings to cut. Yeah, all should be good. All right, so there's your Christmas dinner on its way, ready and waiting. Lovely, lovely. What else have I got to say today? Oh, just yeah, Ambleside Quilting. My friend up at Kiltcampton, just the other side of Bude, on this north coast. I'm going to be teaching up there every Wednesday from sort of November onwards. We've got an open, well, she's having an open week at the end of October, and I'll be up there on the Wednesday, which will be the day that I'm teaching normally, for people to come in and say hello and have a little look and see what's going on. But the other exciting thing is because she's a long armer. That sounds weird, doesn't it? It's Ambleside Longarming, Ambleside Quilting Longarming, something, one of them. She does all the quilting on the things for you, which is lovely, because I like doing the tops, as you know, and I've got several thousand tops that need quilting, and I haven't had time. So she's actually playing and quilting some of our quilt tops for us. But she's had a new machine. She's got one big machine anyway, but she's just taken delivery of a big camel. It's amazing. I'm hopeful that I can go and have a little play. It's just like unbelievable. Anyway, yeah, so what I was trying to say, as I'm digressing as normal, is here in Weybridge, if you're local, I'm now a pick up and collection and drop off point for long arm quilting. Okay, so if you've got anything you need doing and you want it to go up to Sarah, Kiltcampton, which is Ambleside Longarm Quilting, obviously talk to Sarah or nip it into me or whatever, and we'll have a discussion and we'll sort that out for you. It's good, isn't it? Yeah, lovely. All working together. We like this. So 3 things as normal, folks, because I'm not going to bore you. It is an evening after all, Sunday evening. We've got exercise that probably has or hasn't happened. We've got tidying that has or hasn't happened. And we got friends that we need to be talking to. I think, again, we're gearing back up again, aren't we? We don't know what he's going to say tomorrow. So do make sure your friends are okay. Everybody's all right. Give them a quick ring, give them a talk to, give them a text message. You know your friends. And if one's saying, yeah, no, I'm fine, but you know they're not, just keep checking in and making sure. It's very easy, isn't it, for us all to say, yeah, no, I'm fine, don't worry about me. But actually, should we be worrying about me? Not me, but them. You know what I mean. Do stay in touch with people. I've been reading a few stories. I don't know how true or not true. But it would be sad to think that people are out there and have been sort of forgotten just because they're too blasé and or too proud to admit that actually, do you know what, I'm having a hard time. So keep on to those ones, you know who they are. All right. Anyway, so there we go. One thing left to be said to everybody. Be lovely. Have a happy week.